Hello, all of my beautiful, fabulous people, and how are you all doing this afternoon? I hope you are all doing fabulous, fabulously well. I wanted to come on early today. Hello, Christina. Thank you very much. Thank you. See, that's the thing. I'm trying to stay safe, but apparently Ontario has like lost their minds or something. I don't know what's going on, but I did promise to keep people updated with the v-cines. I have to be careful about what I say out here whenever I am talking about this because for some reason this platform is like, hey, even if you're spreading the good information that we all need to know, be careful saying the words that you would need to say to properly spread the information, basically. Hello, Joe. Thank you for being here. And so, you know, I got to be a little bit careful. They'll shadow ban me. That's probably half of my issue out here is that I keep getting shadow banned because I keep talking about this. But to me, it's more important that I'm able to talk about this. So I wanted to come on today because we have been going through some hard times here in Ontario, and I am assuming that the US can't be that much different. Other provinces don't appear to be that much different from us. So I thought I would come on, share some new information about what's going on here. We have some new restrictions. So, for example, my daughter was supposed to return to school on Monday, and they were like, no, it will be Wednesday. And, I was cool with that. I was like, oh, awesome. She gets 2 extra days with me. I'm kind of I love spending time with my kids. So I kind of like her home. I liked having her home when she was doing remote learning. I guess I'm a weird parent. I'm not really like, oh, send the kid back to school. So I was like, that's cool. And now they've pushed it 2 more weeks. So I was like, all right, what's been going on? Because to be honest with you, over the holidays, I was celebrating my holidays and not really fully paying attention to what was going on. So I myself kind of checked out for a few weeks, and then it seemed like all of a sudden Ontario went crazy. So there was an article that was released today that I wanted to go through with you guys because it talks about what's going on here. So it says Ontario reports 1,290 people in hospital with the thing I can't say on here for whatever reason, and 266 are in ICU, which that's not cool at all. That literally means 266 people are in the intensive care unit. Yeah, see, Christina says that's exactly what happened to me. I didn't pay attention. And then school's canceled for a week. I know. We were like doing the holidays, enjoying ourselves. And then all of a sudden, when we were kind of like coming out of the holiday, we're like, okay, the kids got to go back to school. It's like, no, they don't. Wait, what's going on? So, and Christina's in a different province than I. So she is obviously going through similar things. So, of course, I felt the need to come on and talk about what's going on. Because now, funny story, my husband and I were watching the ball drop in New York City. There were a lot of people in Times Square that were not wearing what they should have been wearing on their faces. And of course, they were all very close together. And I was like, oh no, this thing's going to come back. Watch. Ugh. For some reason, we seem to get a surge of it right after the holidays because, we all want to get together with family and friends. This year, though, we were told that it was okay to, just try not to maybe go making out with strangers in the street or something, but it was okay to get together with those, especially if they got the v-cines. So it kind of sucks that this is going on. It says that Ontario is reporting that many people in the hospital and in intensive care. So there were actually 11,352 new cases today. All right. So that's not good. Although it notes the number underestimate the true case count due to limits Ontario has placed on testing, which I'm sure we'll get into everything that Ontario. We're going to go through the whole list of what Ontario's doing right now. So the province actually recorded 10 new fatalities from the V. Intensive care admissions have been rising in the province, with 248 people in ICU due to it a day earlier. Ontario announced a series of new measures, including the pausing of non urgent surgeries in an effort to slow the fifth wave driven by the highly contagious Omicron variant. Now, this is an issue for me personally because if you guys aren't aware, my poor husband has been waiting for back surgery since just before this happened. And he is the top of the wait list. He's like right up there for when his back surgery is supposed to go on. So basically, he's just waiting for a phone call. They'll just randomly call us one day and be like, hey, you have to come pick up all this stuff because he has to take a bunch of stuff before his surgery, I guess, like the day before, and then, go in the next morning. So they're basically going to call us like 48 hours before his surgery and be like, hey, come get the stuff. We're doing it. And like the day after tomorrow, let's go. And he's been waiting for this phone call since before this pandemic. And they keep on pushing this, right? And we do have, Christine, I see you asking if we have the free take-home tests. We do have the test available. And actually, right before the holiday, our daughter's teacher sent us all home with a package of the tests. So that was good. At least we're prepared in that way. So it sucks that they're pausing non-urgent surgeries because I mean, technically, what that means is basically if it's not life-threatening. Which my husband, he's in a lot of pain. His pelvis is actually messed up, and his lower back is all messed up, and he has to have surgery on both. And so, it's just annoying because he's obviously not a life or death situation, but he's in a lot of pain and just kind of waiting, and they keep pushing it. It keeps happening. It's like every time that they say, all right, yeah, surgeries can happen, it's like a month goes by and then they do this again. So the latest restrictions also include a return to online schooling for at least 2 weeks and widespread business closures. This report was published on this day. So this is what, like, kind of the big news just broke right before I came on stream. This was published, as you can see, when I clicked on it, which was right before I made the stream, 15 minutes ago, posted. So this I would consider to be the latest news of the reports and what's going on. So that's a lot, especially the 11,000 new cases today. That's a lot. That's kind of scary to me. But we limited testing too. Yeah, see, that's and that's kind of funny to me because I'm like, how are we limiting testing? But then we're going through all this anyway. Maybe that's just me, but the good news is that now I'm not a huge Doug Ford fan or fan of any of the Fords. If you're aware with the family, I'm sure you know that there's a lot of stuff with that. But the one thing I do have to say about Doug Ford is that he has been doing his best here. He actually really has been. He's been trying to shut down things. He hasn't really been all about opening things back up again. He seems to be on the belief that if we all stayed home until every single person got the v-cines and then maybe went out, then it would be better. Yeah, if you know, you know. And if you don't, I'm not getting into it today. So He's not my favorite person, but I do have to give credit where credit is due. I do feel like he is doing his best in these times to do what he can to lessen it for us. He is doing better than I hear a lot of the other province leaders are. So I can't complain too much. And one of the things that he's done is he's gone and put more restrictions, which I know some people get a little bit fed up of the restrictions. And yeah, I get how it's annoying. But when you have 11,000 new cases in one day and you have over 200 people, 300 people going into the ICU, I think it's important that we have these restrictions. It's a scary time in our world right now because we've never had a time like this. None of, the people that are kinda, like, in charge right now, middle-aged to us younger people, we've never gone through a huge worldwide pandemic. So, we don't really know what the heck we're supposed to be doing. I think we were all very unprepared for this in all countries. We didn't know what the heck to do, and we're all kinda just doing the best that we can. And I think Doug's doing a decent job, all right? It could be a lot worse. So what are these restrictions? Because like I said, we were all waiting to go back to this, like send the kids back to school. And then all of a sudden on January 5th, which was the day that they were set to go back here, was the 3rd. So they were like, hold up, don't send it back. And then for like a couple days, we just didn't know what was going on. And then on the 5th, they're like, here you go. Kind of thing. Like, this is what's going to be happening. And now we know. Now we know what's up. So this is obviously going to be starting on the 5th of the month, which is going to be tomorrow, of course. It's the 4th. Why is my thing messing up on me? Okay. I think we're good now. Like went weird. So there's Doug Ford, of course. I'm sure people are familiar. So it says the Ontario government announced more restrictions on Monday due to the rapid spread of the Omicron variant, saying the province will return to a modified step 2 of the reopening plan. Premier Doug Ford announced the new measures during a news conference as hospitalizations due to the thing and case counts increased across Ontario. CTV News Toronto has compiled a list of all the new restrictions, which will come into effect tomorrow, January 5th. So let's go through because, it would be good if there's people out there watching me in Ontario. It would be good. He's better than Kenny. Yeah, like I feel like Doug's doing a better job than those that run the other provinces. Like I said, I can't hate on him if his family's doing anything right. It might just be how he's trying to handle this. So you gotta think, like I'm sure the people in charge also are kind of in over their heads. It's a lot. So gathering limits are slashed. So social gathering limits will be reduced to 5 people indoors and 10 people outdoors, which is of course why we cannot send the kids back to school now because classrooms are obviously larger than that. I believe my daughter has about 20 kids in her class, and that's cut down. We had already cut down class sizes for the return of school, and a lot of parents still choosing to do remote learning. Also helped with that, of course. There are still a lot of families that are doing the remote learning this year. Um, my daughter needs the social skills. That's the thing she needs the most of, and she just wasn't getting it when she was at home doing remote learning. So I had sent her back this year and was feeling pretty good about sending her back after holidays, but no. So then they say capacity will be limited at organized public events to 5 people indoors again. So basically everything is just 5 or less people indoors, 10 people or less outdoors. Businesses and organizations will need to ensure employees work remotely unless the nature of their work requires them to be on site. And in a lot of cases, unfortunately, what's going on is if your work does not require you to be like on site, then you might just not be working. Like, a lot of construction jobs and things like that, unfortunately, end up just not having people come into work anymore, right? And that's what sucks about this, is that then people are stuck without their jobs for a bit, kind of going, all right, well, I need a paycheck. That's the crappy part about this, and I understand that. So Christina says, absolutely they are, but I have a lot of respect for Ford right now. Yeah, like he's handling this the best way that he can, I feel like. If they announce back to school for sure on the 10th, I'm debating keeping mine home for an extra week because I'm scared of what the classrooms will look like. And honestly, I would say do what you feel is best for your kid in that situation. Let's be real. Right now, missing out on the first week back to school won't do a lot. Okay. I'm sure your kid isn't missing some major core learning. So if you feel like that would be best, I say follow your intuition. I do know that some of my friends have their kids scheduled for the v-cines in January. And some of them were talking like, I might just wait until that's all done before sending my kid back, which I also understand. That makes complete sense to me, you know? So I think that as a parent, if you don't feel comfortable sending your kid back, then don't do it. Wait it out a bit. And I don't think the school will give you any crap about it either. Like, what are they gonna say? I'm sure they'll understand. Then they say they have reduced capacity limits. So even at indoor weddings, funerals, and religious services, rites, and ceremonies, it needs to be limited to 50% capacity of a particular room. And outdoor services are limited to the number of people that can maintain 2 meters of physical distance, right? Social gatherings associated with these services must adhere to the social gathering limits. Then they say retail settings, including shopping malls, will be permitted at 50% capacity. For shopping malls, physical distancing will be required in lineups, and food courts will be required to close. And you may notice that when you go into restaurants right now, if you're in Ontario, they do not allow you to eat in. If they have takeout, you have to do takeout. We got McDonald's the other day because I didn't want to cook. My husband was like, here, just go get McDonald's. So I was like, all right, I'll run out and grab it. And yeah, like they were like, we're only doing takeout right now. You have to take the food home, which I was going to do anyway. But they had it all crossed off again and everything when it was open just before the holidays. So you can't eat in. Food courts are all closed down. So again, that can create an issue for people that are in the service industry. People that are waitresses and servers and whatnot, they're not going back to work like they should be. They don't need all of the servers when people aren't sitting down at the restaurant. And that's what's worrisome. So I do hope that with all of these restrictions in place, that we're going to be opening up, resources for people to get money to be able to make it. I mean, if this thing goes on for another month or so, people are going to have to pay bills. There are some people that maybe cannot go back to work right now. So we do have to think about that. So, oh yeah, and also in the lineups, they have like these spots on the floor, stand here, all that. I don't think they ever took those away. We've been doing it. Your kiddos have the first shot and you're waiting to book the second. They got their first in December. Yeah, see, my kid's scheduled to get hers in like next week. So that's what I mean. A lot of people are kind of like, maybe I'll just wait it out until after the vaccines, because a lot of people got the first shot in December or they are in January. I believe it opened up for parents to do. I think it was starting at the beginning of November or something, but they did like a slow sort of rollout with it. Um, so most people were only able to get a first dose for their kids in like December, which is why a lot of people are like, I'm going to wait. You know, if it was later on in December, their kid might not be getting a first dose or sorry, the second dose now for another week. So they're like, I might want to just wait at least a week or two and then like see what's going on anyway. Some people were talking about keeping their kids home before these mandates, just until their kids got the v-cines before sending their kids back. And that makes complete sense to me. I would do that too. I was already thinking about it myself. I was like, well, if it does happen, I mean, maybe we should just wait until she gets all of her v-cines and then send her. So personal care services will be permitted to operate at 50% capacity. Saunas, steam rooms, and oxygen bars, though, are closed. Public libraries are also limited to 50% capacity. And yes, there will be like almost like someone doing security at the doors of these places. And sometimes you have to wait for people to leave before you can go in. Even at my food basics, they do that. So, you know, closures. So indoor meeting and event spaces are required to close with limited exceptions, but outdoor spaces can remain open with the restrictions. Again, keep it to what they said above. Indoor dining at restaurants, bars, and other food or drink establishments will no longer be permitted, like I kind of rambled on about a little bit ago. Outdoor dining with restrictions, takeout, drive-through, and delivery is permitted. And again, not a lot of places will just have outdoor dining right now in Ontario because it's freaking January. We have like 2 feet of snow in a lot of places, and we just don't feel like being on a patio. Indoor concert venues, theaters, and cinemas will also be closed. So we're not going to any movies or anything anytime soon. But rehearsals and recorded performances are permitted with restrictions. You can rehearse for things. We just have no clue when the presentation will go on. That made me laugh a little bit. Museums, galleries, zoos, science centers, landmarks, historic sites, botanical gardens, and similar attractions, amusement parks and water parks, tour and guide services, and fairs, rural exhibitions, and festivals will all close because those are all places that, it takes a lot of people fill up those places. And like I said, we don't need another situation like what I saw New Year's Eve in Times Square. Okay, that was a bit crazy. I'm surprised that all of New York, well, actually, I haven't checked. Maybe they are, but New York should be sick right now. Just saying. So, outdoor establishments will be permitted. That's a new word. Permitted to open with restrictions and with spectator occupancy. Where applicable, limited to 50% capacity. Again, spectator occupancy. Indoor horse racing tracks. Do we really need to do those right now? Car racing tracks and other similar venues will close. Outdoor establishments will be permitted to open with restrictions and with spectator occupancy limited to 50% capacity. Boat tours will be permitted at 50% capacity. Boat tours in Ontario at this time. Okay. I don't know many people that are going on a boat tour right now, but sure. Whatever. Indoor sport and recreational fitness facilities, including gyms, will be closed. So, the gym's probably really, really full today. Everyone wants to get their workout before tomorrow, and then everyone will be sick. Except for athletes training for the Olympics and Paralympics and select professional and elite amateur sport leagues. Outdoor facilities will be permitted to operate, but with the number of spectators not to exceed 50% occupancy and other requirements. School closures. All publicly funded and private schools will move to remote learning starting January 5th until at least January 17th, subject to public health trends and operational considerations. And if your kid is doing that, you do need to look into if they're even doing school. Mine's just off until the 17th now. Because she's, you know, in early grade school, so they're kind of like you can do without. You'll be all good. But some people, like the older kids and stuff, are going to remote learning. So just make sure that you get the information on if you're supposed to start remote learning with your kid tomorrow or not. Short notice, by the way. They're like, "Oh yeah, by the way, tomorrow you might have to start remote learning with your kid." School buildings would be permitted to open for childcare operations and to provide in-person instruction for students with special education needs who cannot be accommodated remotely. And my daughter doesn't fall under that. So, surgeries. It says on January 5th, the Chief Medical Officer of Health will reinstate Directive 2 for hospitals and regulated health professionals, instructing hospitals to pause all non emergent and non urgent surgeries and procedures in order to preserve critical care and human resource capacity. I think that's exactly what's going to happen for us lower grades canceled. Yeah, like we got an email from the school and they were just kind of like, we'll see you on the 17th if we come back then. Like everything's on pause. Like, grade two. So they're like, yeah, we don't have anything that but some of the high school students in that are doing remote learning. You guys had high school kids have their diploma exams canceled. Yeah, they're not having any exams right now, I don't think, our high school kids. Or are they exams right now? But that would either be held off at the moment until they return and like be canceled for now, or they would figure out a way to do that remotely, which I don't know how that would look, but I'm sure they would figure it out if that's what they had to do eventually. Because, like, if this thing continues, right? And I guess that's it. That's it for the restrictions. Do you see we got a lot of stuff happening here? Like, it says that Ontario closes schools until January 17th, bans indoor dining, and cuts capacity limits. So, like, that's what I mean. Let's see if they have any information. So it says during this period of remote learning, free emergency childcare will be provided for school-age children of healthcare and other eligible frontline workers. So that's good to know. The level of absenteeism we're seeing in other sectors tells us with absolute certainty that operating schools, ensuring teachers are on the job and not home sick, will be a challenge we cannot overcome in the short term, Ford said. Which, I mean, I kind of agree with. It would be worse for all of them to end up sick. Then they say that eligible businesses will receive rebate payments equivalent to 50% of the property tax and energy costs they incur while they are subject to the current capacity limits. Online applications for this will be open in mid-January. So that's another thing that people may need to know out here. He understands people are going to be angered and confused, but like, what do you want from him? He's trying his best here. He's trying his best, guys. Says we anticipate a very short, quick, rapid approach to this epidemic and the impact on the healthcare system. It says here also, the latest round of restrictions will buy time for Ontario to increase third doses and hopefully see the arrival of antivirus pills to treat. So right now, let's talk about that for a second. I think that's a little bit important. They say that data from Pfizer's or sorry, 2,250 person clinical trial shows the company's oral medication called Paxlovid was around 89% effective at preventing hospitalizations or deaths due to the thing I can't say when compared against a placebo. It would really suck to be the group that got the placebo during that. I'm just saying. There were also no deaths among the participants that took the Pfizer treatment. Good to know. The company submitted its treatment to Health Canada for approval on the 1st of December last year, of course. But while Pfizer's antiviral pill has already been authorized in the US and the UK, Health Canada has yet to make a decision. And that's because, I'm going to be honest, Health Canada is a little bit more of a stickler. They really do a little bit more testing than the US and the UK. So it does take a little bit more to get approved here in Canada than it does to get approved elsewhere, which honestly kind of makes me feel a little bit safer about living in Canada. Because at least then I know they've gone through a very rigorous testing, before letting these things come out. So he says, Doug Ford, the immediate goal of these measures will be to blunt the latest wave so we can ease the pressure on our hospitals. Because he's also thinking about these hospital staff, people that have been working overtime. They're like frontline workers. I mean, I'm sure they're freaking burnt out like hell. I would hate to be a nurse or a doctor or a surgeon right now, or anyone working in that field. God bless everybody that works in those fields, because I can't even imagine it right now. It would be crazy. So I do have to give the man that. He is always thinking about how to ease the pressure on our people. And unfortunately, right now, we also are going through a shortage, I guess, here for nurses. So if anyone out there wants to move to Ontario and be a nurse for us and help us through this, that would be amazing. Come do that. They say that, he said, we face a tsunami of new cases in the days and weeks ahead, which unfortunately is kind of what's happening, right? All of a sudden, it's just like, boom, all these cases in the new year. We basically started the new year being like COVID-19. Oh crap, I said it. Well, hopefully it's late enough in the stream that it won't matter. And yeah, like Christina says, let them take their extra time to tell me it's okay. That's how I feel. I'm kind of like, listen, if they want to do extra testing on this, I'm fine with that. I'm not really going to complain. I mean, we got the restrictions. I'm home. My kid isn't going to school. I only need to go out to get, the necessities. And then we got restrictions going on at the grocery stores and anywhere that I would go as well. So I do feel like Ontario is doing everything they can to keep us safe and stop this thing. Again, we do have, weirdly enough, a freaking anti-vax community here. I was walking down the street in my own neighborhood, all right, just a little while before Christmas. And this guy was walking his dog. And his dog kind of came over to me, not right up to me to get pet or anything, but he was came over to my vicinity. He was a good dog. He didn't bug me or nothing, just kind of came over and was walk by me. So the guy comes to walk up to the dog and sees me kind of walking by. And he goes, you look really stupid with that face diaper on your face. And I was just kind of like, really? I'm in Ottawa, right? Like, really? Really? Ottawa. And that's what I'm getting right now? I was just trying to go to the store, dude. Really? Anyway, it kind of surprised me. I am not used. It does not happen here often where you will have an anti-vaxxer, especially so vocal, just kind of approach you out of nowhere. And I was kind of like, huh? Because it shocked me. All right. I was like, whoa, that was rude. And like, way to come get your dog, sir. And so I'm just kind of like, huh? And then he was like, yeah, you're brainwashed. And then, like, took his dog and went to walk away. And I just kind of laughed. I was like, I'm brainwashed? Okay. And then just walked off because what else do you do in a situation like that? That's all I got. So I was like, a little bit weirded out. And then I went and looked it up. And apparently here, and yes, Alberta also has a very, very big community as well. And it's a big problem here in Canada now, which again, I don't remember seeing a lot of. I got to be honest. Yes, we did have, a community of anti vaxxers here, as most places do, by the way. But, we didn't really hear from them. And then this happened. Now they're freaking everywhere. And I'm kind of like, where did you come from? Did you move here from the US when Trump became president? Is that what happened? Anyway, it was surprising to me, but it was kind of funny at the same time because I was like, well, I mean, if that was going to happen to anyone, that's a great story to tell on my channel one day. But I just like really surprised me because it was literally just a guy walking his dog, me walking by. I was kind of like, well, that was ballsy. So yeah, I even got them just up the road from me here, living across the street. Oh no, what am I gonna do? So I'm kind of like, yeah, I gotta be careful in my area. Apparently there's several here. But is it wrong to say, I mean, my area does seem safe because I live in a Muslim community. I'm not trying to be rude, but they're definitely following the mask mandate. So for the most part, I feel pretty comfortable in my area. So that was kind of like whoa, I'm not even used to seeing people without their face covered just on the regular around here. I don't mean anything like bad by that. It's just to show you my area is a Muslim area where people often wear hijabs. And so it was nothing for people to kind of wear something on their face. Even the men kind of took it up there. I haven't had any problems with anyone in the Muslim community at all being anti-vax. And some of them might be because of their culture, but they're at least, respectful in that sense. And even the men that don't wear hijabs are wearing masks. I haven't had an issue with any of them in this area walking around without them. So it was very strange to me to see the whitest mofo I could ever see walking his dog and just be like, you're brainwashed for wearing a face diaper on your face. And I was also like, that was kind of repetitive, sir. Couldn't you have come up with a better insult? But yeah, just to give you an idea of how weird that is for this area as well. So I gotta be careful apparently a little bit because they are around. So I really do wish that the community didn't exist. I've talked about this a lot, but they do. And I do feel like they are adding to this problem. And I guess that's why I feel the need to speak out about it. But guys, that's about all I have for right now. I know I said I wasn't going to do a video today. But I didn't do a video today. I did a live stream, so I still didn't lie to you. But I was reading through this and I was like, maybe I'll just share this in a stream right now because as I'm learning this, we all need to learn this. And it seems like all of Canada is going through this in some way or another where there are new restrictions being made in this new year and all of our kids are off school. So, yeah, that I would come on and do a little talk. Again, I do have to say Doug Ford seems to be handling this well. Ontario, this is why it's kind of surprising, I think, because we have been trying to stay on top of this and we actually have a very high vaccine rate here. Most people are. So, it's like, why is this happening? But at the same time, unfortunately, even with the v-cine, that just makes it so that if you get it, it won't be as bad for you. But they did do a study that said that most of the people, especially those in the ICU, are of the community that does not believe in getting the v-cines. So keep that in mind. And please go and get it. Stay as safe as you can. Follow these restrictions and the mandates in your area. Wash your hands still. Don't be touching your face. Wear a mask every time you go out. Try to stay away from people as much as possible. For me, that's not a problem because I hate being around the general public. I'm the type that just goes to the store, grabs what I need, comes right home. All right. So now just make sure you're doing that. Only go out for things that you absolutely need. Get delivery for things if you can. The delivery people are pretty cool around here where they will just leave it at your door and then get the hell out. They'll like knock and then run to the elevator so they're nowhere near you. So everyone, stay safe out here. Hopefully we can all get through this and then life will get back to normal again. Unfortunately, though, it appears we are starting off 2022, well, not that much different from 2021. So that kind of sucks. Did anyone notice that 2022 is really just 2022? Yeah. Turns out there might be something to that. So I am going to be live with the recovering Hunbot later on today. I'm not 100% sure on the time yet, probably around 7 to 8, something like that. I'll let you guys know. I'll share it on my community tab, so stay tuned for that. We do it over on her channel because she has a higher reach, and we're talking about on passive, which is a huge scam. Although, yeah, I've covered it on my channel too, so you can go check out those videos. And you're not going to want to miss the one we did yesterday over on her channel, and you're not going to want to miss the rest of it today. It's a doozy. It's a doozy. So go and check it out, and then I will see you guys later on today for the rest of the stream, and there will be a video out tomorrow. So, hey, at least there's that. I did do another stream last night very late, so you can check that out too. Check out the video for MLM Monday yesterday, which was also about on passive because I can't stop until that company does. And no matter where you are or what you're doing, I hope that you have a fabulous, fabulous, fabulous so day. Take care, and I will see you later. Again, give the stream a like, subscribe, do all the YouTube stuff, blah, 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 blah. Yeah, I sound like a YouTuber. I'm sorry. I know. I guess it happens after you're out here for a couple of years. What else do I got? It just happens to you. There's no control. You just turn into a YouTuber, okay? So I'll catch you guys later, all right? Have an amazing day. Mwah. Bye!